There was an assassin, spy, an avenger. Before that, I had a family.
Hi, Kate. Hello from Mexico City.
Hey.
I love the action sequences of the movie, but what I most loved was the portrait of a broken family coming together.
Mm-hmm.
How was the balance, the challenge to balance all that?
We knew there was these threads, narrative threads that we wanted through the film. And it was really about the rhythm of the film, allowing different characters to breathe at different times. But one thing that we wanted was Natasha's story to stay as the spine, and then these other characters would join and impact on that story. And in a way, it was a little bit like Wizard of Oz. We sort of thought about Dorothy, and that it's the other characters that help her through that journey. And I think that's it's kind of an archetypal story.
There are a lot of directors in the MCU. What was your personal touch, the Kate's touch and input that you wanted to show in the movie and make it yours?
I suppose talking about the fragility of human beings, and that even though these people are superheroes, they have messy lives and they have struggles and they have difficult family relationships, and that what makes them heroic is the idea that they want to lift up those that aren't as fortunate. They want to lift up the people that are imprisoned or that don't have a voice. And I love that. I love young people watching that, and I hope it inspires them.
Yeah. This movie certainly modified Scarlett Johansson's approach to the character because, well, now we know that she's dead in Avengers Endgame. How did that affect also you as a director and the intention of the movie and where the character finds between Civil War and between Infinity War?
Having those parameters was actually really helpful because I knew that she starts off very isolated. She starts off questioning her role within S.H.I.E.L.D. She's quite broken. And I knew that by Endgame, she's fully resolved. Like, she knows that the sacrifice she's making, and she makes it wholeheartedly with all her heart. So what we knew was that we had to rebuild her, and we had to allow her to interrogate the parts of herself that she was too frightened to unpack, so that by the time she would get into Endgame, the fans would really understand she was making that choice without any doubt.
I know there is an anecdote about the set being a microwave oven. I don't know if you can talk about it.
Yeah, we shot in London in a heat wave, and that first fight with the girls in the apartment, the set was over 50 degrees, and then we'd have to clear the set and we'd have to pump air back into it and they'd have to start fighting again. So it was, they make it look effortless, but it was, I just remember them both lying on the floor, and then they'd have to be redressed, remade up, just because of the heat. I think that's when you see great actors, the stamina and the determination to make something look effortless, even though physically it was really bloody hard.
I am amazed how I see a real family between Scarlett and Florence and David and Rachel. Is there something specifically that you did to make them bond before the movie or during the movie?
I spoke to all of them separately, and then Rachel came into the production office and spoke to Brian Chapek, the producer, and I about the script. Scarlett had a huge part in how the scripting process happened. Florence and David did improvisation, and that came into the script. And then also we did rehearsals. So all of the actors had a certain ownership over their characters and the relationship. And Marvel and myself embraced that, because you got these smart people. They're just going to add more to it. They're going to make it better. And I think what we're seeing because of that ownership is this kind of chaotic, messy scramble, this tangle of a family. And hopefully it reminds us in some way of our own.
Kate, my last question for you is about the Russian historian that worked with you to create the background of Natasha and the family, right? It's not all only about action and family, it's also about history.
I think what it gave us, and it gave Eva Anderson, was the idea that as a child she'd lined up in food queues when the Soviet Union was disintegrating, and what the children's home would have been like. The Russian historian gave her songs and poems that she would have had as a young child, and Natasha Scarlett was also reading that stuff. So it was like we could mix the truth and then take it seamlessly into the MCU.
Thank you so much, Kate. It was a pleasure talking to you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.